You don't agree with them, but still you have to hobnob with them. You have to have tea with them. And then not only that, if that were as though that was not enough, you have to invite them to form the government with you because you don't have enough strength. And this is what is called coalition politics. So a new party is formed with a new name, which is a motley crew of few parties. And the Indian electorate is sick of that because nothing happens as a result of that. Kind of what Congress here is doing, Yes, Obama is the president, but what can he do? Anything he starts, there will be people, minimum wage, everybody gathers up. Obamacare, oh no. Even now they are trying to repeal it, And anything, he just has to say, I'm going to breathe, and then 100 people will put a stay order and say, no, you cannot breathe for these reasons. So that's a kind of that's what happens with coalition politics in India. It's like taffy. One side you pull, another side you pull, and you just have a government that is going nowhere, like a lame duck government. And we've had this problem for a number of years. Because even though they may have some good ideas, Congress had some good ideas. They also want, to do good things occasionally, and but they were not able to do anything because the hands are tied. And this is the problem with the coalition politics, and that too in a big machinery like India. It becomes very, very difficult to negotiate. And therefore what the whole thing was, and this is what the Indian electorate noticed. The Indian electorate has seen this and made sure that whoever they voted for came decisively into power. And then so this whole Get Modi file was gone, and now, this is what happened. Now Obama said, please come to the United States and visit. So that is what the whole thing is. It's an exciting, era for India, not because it is Modi or not because it's a particular party or something like that, but whenever the electorate expresses itself like this, it's always exciting because people are participating, in the thing. Yeah. And if you look at what has happened in Gujarat, it's a very wonderful model of development. And so apparently the story is that after when the actual counting was being done, and it was the extent of the win was clear even before the counting was completed, the first thing he did was to go seek his 95-year-old mother's blessings, and there is a photo of her, very nice, and him together, and she's feeding him something, sweets or whatever it is, and apparently she gave him advice. And she said, don't tire yourself, because that's what the mother is concerned. Said, just do what you did in Gujarat for the rest of the country. The kind of model of development. So, very interesting. So this is it is exciting because I think that it's also exciting primarily because the Vedic tradition, which is so accommodative and so beautiful and so tolerant of everything. I mean, beyond tolerant. Tolerant means you kind of tolerate someone. It's accommodative. It allows everyone to be. And if it expresses itself properly, if it's in the right hands, if it doesn't become another political play, it's really a very good model for governance, because it's the only tradition whose philosophy says really, truly live and let live. accommodate everybody, bring everyone together along. That is the thing. But unfortunately, because of, I think probably because of colonization and everything that ensued thereafter, we've had this problem, this pervasive problem of Hindu identity, where people are loath to identify themselves as Hindu because it is seen as a dirty word. It's seen as a bad word. Yeah. A 5-letter word that I don't want to be associated with, And if you ask any modern day Hindu, are you Hindu? They'll say, no, 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 I believe in love and compassion. All around love and compassion. And this is crazy, because what is Hinduism other than compassion and love? I believe in everything. I believe in everyone. This is what Hinduism is, but they will not say the word Hindu. And that's because the reigning, worldview, and also the Indian intelligentsia has contributed to this reigning worldview, is that being Hindu means being old-fashioned, being, that's what it is. It's like some effects of colonial backlash, the internalized colonialism, which is very difficult to explain if one hasn't gone through that experience. And therefore, we have to see this in that light, that for the first time I see that there is a possibility for reclaiming one's heritage, one's moorings, without being classified as fundamentalist. Yeah, this is what needs to be done. There is no, if the Vedic tradition is understood properly, it cannot be fundamentalist. It's the complete opposite of that. And so here we have, 1/6 of the world's population afraid to identify themselves, And a government that has gone along with this fear and has enacted a number of laws to foment and keep this fear going. And if there is a fundamentalist, strains in Indian politics, it's a backlash for this fear. So it's a result of the backlash of the fear and lack of expression. This is what is happening. Anyhow, this is not a class on Indian politics.
The volume on the computer.
This
Yeah.
computer? Yeah. ठीक है, गाते हैं, देखते हैं क्या होता है. Let's see. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः, स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः, व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः. स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bhashya for verse number 8. Tapasa Jnanena Utpatti Vidhignataya Bhutayoni Aksharam Brahma Chiyate Upachiyate Utpipadai Shaddidam Utpipadai Shadidam Jagat Ankuramiva Bijam Uchhunatam Gacchati Putramiva Pita Harshena. Yeah. So this we have already discussed. So this part will go relatively quickly because we have already done this in detail. I have explained this to you because the Bhashya is a little bit, what's the word for it? Klishta, meaning little difficult here. So tapasa means, what is tapas here?
No.
Knowledge. Yeah. Brahman became big with knowledge. You know, it's not a pregnancy of the Jagat, a very long pregnancy because so many things have to be created. No, not like that. Big in the sense, Adi Shankara gives the example of, you know, like a child seeing the parents after a gap, or even the parents knowing that they are going to be giving birth. You know, when they go and get the first ultrasound, or when they have the news, oh, this baby is going to come, you know, they are so happy, you know, they are very happy. And he specifies, like the father getting the news that I'm going to become a father, you know, because the mother is already connected to the child, because the father has no experience of pregnancy. And you know, in common parlance these days, it's a fashion to say we are pregnant, you know. Excuse me, you know, it's not, it's just aupacharika. The father experiences nothing, you know, but this happiness. Yeah. No morning sickness, no, you know, no unpleasant labor pains, no unpleasant effects of the pregnancy. Throughout the 9 months, the mother has to watch what she eats, has to watch so many things has to be taken care of. But father goes on happily, but is connected to the child, not like the mother, but in the sense of this pride and this happiness, harshena. When he hears, I'm going to be a father, that pride and that happiness makes his bosom swell, as it were, with happiness. And that swelling of that happiness,
Engrossed, like say.
So that swelling with happiness is what causes this father to swell with happiness. What is that? It's not just happiness, I'm having a baby. That's one part. The other part, which is of more important for us here in the terms of this Bhashya, the father swells with happiness because up till now he was just a man, a son, a brother, you know, an employee, a husband, and now what is he going to become? Father. That identification with the prospect of prospective fatherhood, that is the swelling, because one more role here to play. That acceptance of that role, that identification with the fathering and the fatherhood of this thing that is going to come, this baby that is going to come, that joy is coming from the identification with two things. One is the knowledge. What is the knowledge? that, oh, I'm going to be a father. That knowledge that there is going to be an addition, that knowledge, that is the cause of that expansion. And then the other thing is the identification with the role of the father. Already the mind unleashes several fancies. I mean, the baby is not even thumb size, is too small to even be shown on ultrasound, tiny little thing. And then the father starts to think of, oh, we'll go for bike rides together. I'll take it for a walk. I'll hold this child. And I'm going to, and this child is going to make me famous, because I couldn't become famous on my own right. I have a checkered past and a strange history, and I wasn't able to achieve anything. In fact, this child is my greatest achievement. That identification with the achievement. These are the two things that makes the father, anticipate that fatherhood with joy, the father to be. And so to hear Brahman, which was all knowledge, all, where everything, it was everything. It was all knowledge, all limitlessness, all existence. And we don't even have to say all, because all is said when there is something else. It was just existence, pure consciousness. Here I can get away with the word pure. So, means consciousness that is as it were not differentiated into anything. It's just consciousness, just existence, just limitless knowledge, limitless existence. And now this existence and this knowledge, which is limitless, which are limitless, has, as it were, a role to play, something to do. And then what is it? It is identifying with that knowledge. This consciousness has now become conscious. What? An entity. How does all knowledge transfer itself into an entity? By identification with the knowledge as the knower. What kind of knower? All knower. All knowingness has become all knower. Yes, that knowingness, that slight transformation, that quickening, which is, an ancient term for pregnancy. The child is quickening, so that potential to create has to be preceded by knowledge, which has to rest in a conscious being. Consciousness cannot create. What can it create? Nothing. So that morphing, and don't think that the morphing is real. Morphing is as though morphing of that consciousness, which attributes itself into which accepts the knowership, accepts the knowership, the knowing. And what does it do? It identified with the knowing, it becomes knower. Knower of what? Everything. Because what else is there? There is nothing other than itself. So then this conscious being, in whom rests all knowledge, becomes equipped to create. Now what gives this being, what gives this being the readiness to become this knower? We say two things. We say Maya. What is this Maya? An as though power, which arises out of this consciousness alone. So we cannot say, excuse me, little frog. So we cannot say that there is another being called Maya that is coming and waking up the sleeping Brahman. Honey, it's time to get up. Jagat is waiting. Here's your coffee. No. Perhaps it's a spiritually romantic, scenario. Lakshmi waking up Vishnu. No, this is not what is happening. What is happening is just like in your dream. Who awakens, as it were, the sleeping person, and who pushes the sleeping person into the dream state? Who does that? We don't know. Really, seems to be some force, because what is the reason for the sleeping person to suddenly become dreamer from sleeper, which is all on the individual level, all consciousness. There is no doer, there is no creation, there is no creator. It's all knowledge. What is all knowledge in the case of the sleeper? Memory and desire. We have seen the strain of this. So whatever the person desires and whatever the person knows, the memory bank and the what's its name? The knowledge bank of the person, the desire bank, which was in a state of repose in sleep. In sleep, the knowledge was not knocking on the door. May I please come out? May I please show people what all I am capable of? No. In sleep, the memories were just also sleeping. Everything was in a state of laya. Then what is, and this is what all the sleep scientists are still trying to figure out, what is it that puts this person in this REM state? Yes, the fingers and toes twitch. Even in little animals you can see. If you're holding a puppy, you can see that it's having a dream. Yeah, its legs and its nose will start to twitch in sleep. Yeah. So what is it that makes the sleeper into the dreamer? What is that force that catapults the sleeper into the dreamer? We say it's a avyakta. It's a force, it's an unmanifest force, because you don't see the force. You don't see someone tapping on the shoulder and say time for REM. No. It happens spontaneously. And out of a constraint for needing to explain this, the dream state, we can say when the memory presses upon the person. And why does the memory press upon this all knowledge sleeping being? Because it exerts a pressure. The knowledge exerts a pressure. The memory exerts a pressure, because it cannot be kept, in repose anymore. Because it wants to explore something. It's desirous of creating something because it's not able to understand or process. That is why the memory transforms into a dream, because it's a place of processing. So on the individual level, the memory knocks on the sleeper's consciousness, as it were, and the pressure of that knowledge and the memory and the desires, the pressure of the desire wants to fulfill itself in the dream itself. It cannot even wait till it awakens. Or sometimes it knows that certain things are best experienced in dream, because in real life it will never happen. Yeah, that's why everyone dreams of winning the lottery in dream. Because in real life, who's going to, give this person the money? Yeah. Why? Because karma comes in the way. Correct? So some things are better dreamed of. And, on the negative side, if you're really angry with the person and you want to press their neck till they stop breathing, strangle them. That is also best experienced in the dream. You don't want to do it in real life. Yeah, so such things, both positive and negative, which are too extreme to really even think of in the waking state, are expressed in the dream. Why? It's the force of the desires. And same for that which transforms Brahman into Ishvara on the collective level. And we have a working explanation. It is also the force of desires. Whose desires? The pressing jivas saying, create me, give me a body. Not create me, give me a body, create a jagat, give me a body so that I can play. Yes. So the force of the karmic overload, like when the computer gets overloaded, it starts to make sounds and it starts to do all kinds of things. And so like this, the force of the karmic overload of who? Of the jivas in repose. Yeah. But then why are the jivas in repose? Don't go there, because really this is Vedanta 001. And when you're studying Bhashya, you are at Vedanta 501. So don't go there and ask me all that. Because what jiva is there? Who is a jiva here? No one. No one attending this class is a jiva. Oh, really? What am I? You are Atma. Oh, that sounds nice. Good, listen. Okay, so don't go there. Don't go and identify and embrace jivahood. Yes. That's a hoodie you don't want to wear. Yeah, you don't want to wear this hoodie. Because it's shady. Yeah. It is a recipe for feeling alienated. You want to feel alienated? Say no. Yeah, definitely not. So therefore why? Therefore that's why this is a provisional explanation for those who are not yet entering the Vedanta classroom. Yes. For those who are removing the shoes at the door still, for them you say the clamor of the jivas creates this jagat, because they are taking the jagat to be real as Brahman. They are taking the jivas to be real, and they are thinking that they are because, they are not the cause. And so they are sitting there and refusing to study until you give them an explanation. Yeah. So like the mother, takes away the candy from the baby and hides it. Where did it go? Oh, the crow took it away. So look, it's gone. You have to give an explanation. Yeah. Because otherwise the child will be still looking at, what happened. How did this come? In this case, the mother gives an explanation of how it disappeared. And, now we are giving an explanation to this childlike jiva. Childlike in the sense of not having enough emotional maturity and cognitive ability, which we had described earlier as the word dhira. Not having those, still yet to cultivate that. So the mother has to give something, an explanation of why the favorite toffee or the favorite toy or the candy disappeared, because the mother doesn't want the child to eat the candy. So you say, oh, see that bad crow took it. Next time it comes, I'm going to give it a beating. But now we can't do anything, it has flown away. The mother will say that, correct? To humor the child, so that the cognitive, part of the child that's wondering where it went is explained. So the mother Shruti here is also attending to the needs of this emotionally disabled, cognitively yet to be, whose cognition is yet to be cultivated child, who is an adult, but inner child. This emotionally mutant inner child is being given the explanation not for the disappearance of the candy, but the appearance of the jagat, which are the same thing. Yeah. So how did this jagat appear? Elaborate explanation. Once upon a time there was Brahman. Oh, yeah. What was it doing? Nothing. It cannot do anything. So since it cannot do anything, so it just, asked for some help, and it created Maya. Why did it create Maya? Never mind that. Listen to the story. It created this Maya, this as though power, and which is just all knowledge. It is all knowledge. So it identified with this Maya, all knowledge. And in the form of this all knowledge, it became the agent of creation. And it created the skies, the waters, the directions, and the fire, and the, what else is left? Air, and then the beings, the bodies for the various beings to, and then it inhabited everything it created. It desired to create. Why? Because it was lonely. Just like when you are lonely, you have imaginary friends. So why should Brahman also not have imaginary friends? Brahman had an imaginary friend. So just like you create things with your Lego set, Brahman also had this Jagat Lego set. Yeah, created little farms with little animals, and created little grass, created the cows, and then created the water and the river flowing through the village, and all these things it created. And then what? Did not sit back to enjoy it. It infused the creation with that knowledge. Not in the Yugapat, simultaneously, it did not, there was no gap. Not that first it created and then said, oh, I forgot to enter the creation. No. The entry into the creation, as it were, and the creator itself, the creator being non-separate from the creation, the creation being non-separate from the creator, is part and parcel of this understanding. So the creator is found in every aspect of the creation. So there is no aspect of the creation that is orphaned. No. With the creator sitting somewhere else and enjoying chai. No, that's not what the whole thing is. Every aspect of the creation is sacred because it is Ishvara. Ishvara is everywhere. Then, we can say that the creation, the effect is non-separate from the cause, but the cause has not become the effect. This is what we have to understand. And so to explain this, a story is created like this. And that is the story here. And just take it as a story, because we have already assimilated the message of the story. And there is nothing more to do here, nothing more to say other than to read the bhashya. So, tapasa jnanena utpatti vidhignataya. Tapas here means being equipped with all knowledge, and utpatti vidhignaha, and also the knowledge of how to including the knowledge of how to create. Utpatti vidhi, how the creation should take place, what should come first, what should come second. You can't be in an inconvenient place of having created bodies and the nostrils and the lungs that depend on air, and then saying, oh, I forgot to put in oxygen, because then you'll have to recall all the bodies and then recreate the oxygen first, the atmosphere, and then put the bodies in. So that vidhignaha means not only the knower of everything, but not only the knower of utpatti means coming to being, the creator, not only the knowledge of creation, but the vidhi, the order in which the creation should proceed, because the creation is infallible. You see order everywhere. There is no accident. No, but my life is full of accidents. No, those are, when we call something an accident, it is our inability or refusal to understand the order is an accident. Yeah, like what happens in the, in two cars collide. It's, we say accident. This one collided into that one. But really speaking, from the standpoint of the order, it was not an accident. Otherwise, how else their karmas would be exhausted? And then it was just two people trying to make their vehicles occupy the same place at the same time. That's all it was. If you look at it objectively, So therefore, this is an orderly creation. And so the knowledge includes not only what to create, but how to proceed. So utpatti jnaha and utpatti vidhignaha. Vidhi means the order. So vidhignataya means in the form of this order. The knowledge and the knower are non-separate. So vidhignataya, third case, in the form of itham bhave, tritiya. So in the form of the knowing, that knowingness, what happened to Brahman? Chiyate upachiyate. Adi Shankara cannot really explain chiyate with anything else other than upachiyate. Upachiyate means what? There is a nearness of this chayanam, this increase, meaning that identification is there. So identifies with the knower of all knowing. That all knowingness becomes the knower of the creation, that which is about to be created, and the knower of the order of the creation, and then grows big with pride and happiness. And then what? Utpipada ishadidam. Utpipada ishad means that which is desirous of creating. What? Idam jagat. What is it desirous of creating? This jagat indeed. How? Ankuram iva bijam utshunatam gacchati. So just like the sprout, like even the sprout from the seed gains a certain transformation and a fatness. The seed put in water or moisture, if you plant the seed today and water it, and then you take it out, it has grown. So like that, Brahman, Brahma here, chiyate, upachiyate, and then we have already seen this, putramiva pita harshena. Putram means the child, pita harshena, like when the father is going to know, as soon as the father knows, the husband knows actually. What does the husband know? I am going to become a father. And that there is a slight change. Has the child come into being? No. But already he is seeing himself as a father. That is the idea. And purposely he gives father because the mother is already connected with the child. And probably at this point the mother is saying, why are you coming and giving me all these problems, in a moment of exhaustion. Perhaps the mother to be is not having that same thing. The mother to be is losing weight at this time because she is not able to eat or drink. So that's why he chooses this example of the father in relation to the child, because all there is only happiness, sans morning sickness and other problems. So therefore what? एवं सर्वज्ञतया सृष्टि स्थिति संहार शक्ति विज्ञानवत् तयो उपचितात् ततः ब्रह्मणः अन्नम् अद्यते भुज्यते इति अन्नम् अव्याकृतम् साधारणं संसारिणां व्याचिकीर्षत अवस्थानरूपेण अभिजायते उत्पद्यते. Yeah. So evam, in this manner, sarvajnataya, by this all-knowingness, in the form of this all-knowingness, srishti sthiti samhara shakti vijnana vataya, so through the identification with the knowledge of what? Jagat means what? There should be the knowledge of creation. Srishti, sthiti. Sthiti means the knowledge of how to sustain what has been created. And then what else? Samhara Shakti. The power of, what is Samhara? Dissolution. Resolution, dissolution. So first what you have? First you have the creation, and then the sustenance and the dissolution. So the power is threefold. Because you can't have, the power cannot be half. If you know how to create but not resolve, then you have a Frankenstein on your hand. You cannot take back. It's coming out to get you. Yeah. But if you can only destroy and not create, that's also a problem. Yeah. Then the only job available for you is demolition crew company. That's all. That's all. Because there are people who say that we only know how to wreck. We don't know how to, they just have only one equipment, wrecking ball. That's what it is. At the end of a big chain, which is on a crane. So the crane, chain and ball driven by a truck. And then the ball goes like this. That's all they know how to do. And then, so you can't have the ability to wreck without the ability to create. In the Jagat, you can have the wrecking company be different from the construction company. In fact, if you are intelligent, you will make sure that the two are different. But with Bhagavan, you cannot have, first of all, there is nothing else other than Bhagavan. So there is only one agent of creation, sustenance and destruction. So Bhagavan cannot call the wrecking ball. Hello wrecking ball, please come and destroy this mall. You cannot do that because I created by mistake. There is no erasure possible. Some other entity that's going to erase is not there, because all knowledge which has identified with that all knowledge, that knower is one alone, and in that knower is equipped with the power of the Jagat to come, Ankuram Iva. And what constitutes this power is expanded in the second paragraph that we just read, is that this power includes the ability, all knowledge means, which is included in the form of Utpatti, the power to create, the power to maintain what is created. Yeah, because so many times you float a company and then what? You barely stay afloat after that? No. So the power to create, the power to sustain, and the power to take it back when it is no longer serving a purpose is all belonging to this entity called Ishvara, called Bhagavan. And so that is all that is being explained. And then Tataha, so the knowledge includes this. The knowledge of Jagat includes the ability to sustain, create, destroy the Jagat. Then Upachitat means this being fattened by this knowledge. Tataha, from that, Brahmanaha, from this fattened being, fattened by the being the knower, what happened? Annam means, he's saying that don't take any other meaning. Annam here means that which is eaten. Adyate bhujyate iti. That which is eaten. And then he expands it a little bit more. That which is experienced. That which is enjoyed. So annam here means food, and all the objects of enjoyment, objects needed for the use of the clamoring jivas, are created before the jivas. Correct? So that is what is explained here. And again, don't go by the order, because the order changes from Upanishads to Upanishads on purpose, because that's not the Tatparya. The commitment of this text of the Upanishad is to say what created first, because you don't believe in this creation story, it's a story. Okay. So then what? And then, so bhujyate iti avyakritam. So that which is eaten, iti avyakritam. That which is, so you have to look at creation, he says, Adi Shankara, not in the sense of creation, but something from unmanifest coming to manifest. So even this annam, this food came from what? A state of demanifestation to manifestation. So this annam also came from a state of demanifestation and came to a place of manifestation. So it's not that it was created from nothing. Even if the Bible says that, we have to add an else. It was nothing else other than Bhagavan. Yes. God created this world out of nothing else. Nothing other than him. Nothing other than her. So that's what he clarifies. He says avyakritat. Avyakritam. And this avyakritam becomes vyakrita. And what is this food? It says that which sadharanam samsarinam vyachikirshita avastharupena abhijayate. So avastha means here the state. What is this state? The state of the Jagat which is being readied for the one who is going to say, I am samsari. Yeah. Sadharana samsarina means as it is regularly understood by the people that this Jagat is here for me, in the sense that I am the one who is enjoying the fruits of this Jagat. So sadharana samsarinam, so for all the jivas that are going to occupy this Jagat through various bodies, what is being, the atmosphere is being readied, so that they can come, the bodies can then come. Prana first comes and then the bodies come, and Namarupa comes. And so then what? Vyachikirshita means that which is desirous of being, that which is going to be created, that which is going to be desirous of being created. A very interesting, what's its name? Construction. So there is a desiderative construction, son, and so vyachikirshita means that which is going to be manifest. Yeah. That which is desirous of being manifest, which is going to be manifest, utpadyate, has come. Utpadyate is not created, but it has come. And then what? Tatascha avyakritat vyachikirshita avasthatah annat. So now, out of this avyakrita means that which is unmanifest, and so what is that unmanifest? Which includes the recently manifest food. That's the direct translation. So which includes the recently manifested food. What out of that food has been manifested one more thing, which is what? Prana, the life force. And who is this life force? And it's got a name here, Hiranyagarbha, the potential to create, the imminent manifestation, and Ishvara with the power to create and which is going to be manifest imminently, not yet fully manifest but about to be manifest, is called Hiranyagarbha, and badly translated as golden womb, golden egg. Please don't go there. Hiranyagarbha means the power to manifest, the imminent manifestation, was born in the form of what? Prana. So prana is called Hiranyagarbha because prana is a potential. Prana means life force. When is life force a potential? It's a potential because it strings everything together. Everything that has life has also what? Life force. Yeah. Everything that is sentient has life force. And everything that is insentient also, you can say, has life, has chit, but it doesn't have this life force in a manifest form because it needs the subtle body. And this Hiranyagarbha is in the form of the subtle body that is going to string everything together, because everything is strung through prana. Bhagavad Gita says in the 7th chapter, Sutre Maniganaha Iva. Like even in a string you put all these pearls and gems, beads. And then, the beads are strung. And what do you see? Only the beads you see. Where is the string? Inferred. Yeah. So here also you see the various breathing beings, pranic beings. Here I can use the word. Yeah. You see the pranic beings, you see the running beings, you see the breathing beings, you see the fishes with their mouth opening and closing, you see the lion roaring, and then you see the hippopotamus taking a mud bath, you see the deer running in the wilderness, you see a hyena after the deer. Bad idea, but it has also to eat. And you see all these things. You see the prana in action, but you see the beings in action. So all these, the deer, the fish, the lion, the hyena, the bird, the eagle, the mouse, predator and prey, and the grasses and the trees, the various kinds of seaweed, the flora, fauna underneath the ocean, everything that you see are the various beads. What is stringing them together is this potential to manifest, which is manifest here in the form of the life force, which has come out of food. Why and all, don't ask. You just have to go along with the flow. Yeah, because in a different Upanishad, the order will be different. And why this order? Because you don't want to pay too much attention to the order, because that is not the purport of the Upanishad. The purport is to show the abhinna nimitta upadana karanatvam, to show that there is the intelligence and the material are non-separate and has not undergone any kshaya, means any kind of a decline or a loss in the creation, and is sustaining the creation in its own form of that Satchit Ananda alone. That is the purport of the Upanishad. So then this Sutratma called Hiranyagarbha, Jnana Kriya Shakti Adhishthita Jagat Sadhar. Oh, we have read that? We have not read this, yeah. So I thought we read this. Oh, Tatascha. Okay, I've already started to explain, so let me finish. So then we'll read it. I thought we had read it. So this Hiranyagarbha, what is Hiranyagarbha, is explaining Brahmanaha Jnana Kriya Shakti Adhishthita Jagat Sadharana Avidya Kama Karma Bhuta Samudaya Bijankuraha Jagadatma Abhijayate. Very interesting. So it says that this Hiranyagarbha, what is this Hiranyagarbha, is explained here. What is this Hiranyagarbha, this prana which connects every single thing? What is this Hiranyagarbha? Very beautifully explained. Brahmanaha, belonging to Brahman, Jnana Kriya Shakti Adhishthita, means that which is equipped with what? Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti, the knowledge and the ability to create. The knowledge of creation, so the knowledge and the ability to create together are in what? In Brahman, and that Brahman which is equipped to, which is equipped with the power to create, which is equipped with the imminent manifesting power, is commonly understood by all beings in the universe and experienced as the pranic force in each person. This is what Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is defined in two ways. One is that which brings everything together. And from the standpoint of every individual being, are you breathing?
Yes.
Yes. Abba. Okay. So I didn't have to wait to exhale. So yes, you are breathing, you are breathing, you are breathing, you are breathing, I am breathing. So what do we have in common? That Sutratma, that life force. So that life force that ties all these gems, sitting in the classroom together, that the invisible thread that is connecting everybody sitting in the class, because we are all breathing. And that power to breathe, that is that imminent power to create, first is defined as that which is experienced by everyone, that which ties everyone together, because everybody is breathing that same prana, that same air, and that prana, the ability to breathe, the ability to be alive, that ability to, that sentience for this consciousness, that consciousness which gains as it were the sentiency. Not that the consciousness is insentient, but it has a particular manifestation of the sentiency as in sentient beings. So this is one definition of Hiranyagarbha, that which is at the Vyashti level. Vyashti means what? Individual level, you can experience this. And then from the collective standpoint, another definition is given, which is what? Which is that power of knowledge and action, which from that seed all beings sprout. So the power of knowledge and action which quickens the seed of ignorance. Yeah, this is a collective definition. And Adi Shankara sort of what, it's a brilliant definition, because Adi Shankara, puts this definition forth in such a clever way that he just can wash off his hands and go away. Nothing more needs to be said. It's a complete definition. So from the standpoint of the individual, and also let's look at it in threefold way. Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and then Adhidaivika. We look at it in a threefold way. Individual, collective, and intermediate. Okay? So the same Hiranyagarbha has been brilliantly defined by Adi Shankara in the Bhashya. So from the individual standpoint, am I breathing or not? Yes. I am breathing. And this is my ability to breathe is a Shakti, is a power, correct? So it's actually the power to create, sustain and destroy is immediately experienced in the ability to breathe. So when I breathe in, take a deep breath, what am I doing? All the cells are being sustained, correct? Okay, inhale now, hopefully you have already inhaled, but exhale now, hopefully you are already exhaled. So when you let the breath out, what is happening? A destruction of the toxins are taking place, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then also, which we don't see, new cells are being created. So the cells that are still alive are being given an oxygen abhisheka, an oxygen bath, and then what? New cells are being brought to life in this very act of breathing. And then all the old tata cells, granddaddy cells, which need to be given moksha, are given moksha in the exhaling, and the cells are also being destroyed of toxins, correct? So do you see, on the individual level, Hiranyagarbha operates as that power to sustain, create, destroy right here. With regard to the samudaya, what is this samudaya? This assemblage, karya, karana, sanghata, this assemblage of the body, mind, senses complex. Blessed by this Hiranyagarbha, prana, the prana helps to create certain things. Prana helps to breathes the body, creates the life in the body, and then thereafter sustains the body, and then what? Allows it to go. This is at the level of what? No, I have already gone, elsewhere. At the individual level, I told you, the baby example of breathing and bathing the cells in oxygen, destroying the cells. But now I'm looking at the order. Yeah. Adi Daivikam. You see that? Now what is this prana? This is at the level of that power to infuse life, to sustain life, and to take back that, pranic force. This is the pranic force which has the ability to manifest things, that imminent manifesting potential, which is seen with reference to prana. That imminent manifesting potential has many, many names and forms. But here we see it as that which connects everything, like even a thread on which the various beads are there. And when we are talking about the thread, we can see this thread from two standpoints. One from the Adi Daivika standpoint, and which is just what we looked at, which is that ability to breathe life. Go back to the Bible. Breathed life, correct? That breathing power, collectively speaking, the ability to breathe life, that power to breathe life, and also to stop that life force from operating. That's why you say last breath. Why? Because Hiranyagarbha is in charge, ultimately. And so that ability to breathe life is seen as Hiranyagarbha from the standpoint of what? Adi Daivikam. Yeah. Adi Daivikam means that the Adhyatma connected, centered on the I, centered on the individual. Adi Daivikam centered on Bhagavan, on Ishvara. So here there is only Ishvaric force operating. You can't decide this is going to be my last breath. And if you hold your breath, what happens? Other than turning purple, nothing will happen. You will breathe immediately. So Ishvara decides how many breaths are remaining. You don't decide. So there is that godly quality here. It's out of your hands. So therefore it is called Adi Daivikam from the standpoint of this. So what connects the two? What connects this individual ability to enjoy the breathing and think that I am the author of all my breaths, and then the sobering knowledge that that even the ability to breathe and this life force which is being enjoyed by this body is given. What connects the two? What connects the two? We have time. Yeah. We'll have the break after you answer. Think about it. Yeah, Vyashti Samashti we have done. But I'm also asking you to think of an intermediary order that is there in this connection which I just explained. There is an intermediary order that can be sensed. Yeah. What is that intermediary order? Which is what is called Adi Bhautikam. Yeah. What is that?
Is that Ishvara's order?
Everything is Ishvara. Yeah, Ishvara's order. The Ishvara's order is that which connects all three together in a neat little, Yeah, this is where we see, because we need the material. Because how are you going to breathe? Ability to breathe is given. A big pair of lungs are provided. One pair of lung is provided. And then what? Forgot to create the air. The material. You see, this is what is it. The knowledge and the material together they go. From the standpoint of the material, which is going to come later here in this very explanation. That prana is seen as air. Namaste vayo tvameva pratyaksham. What? Brahmasi. You are Brahman. Why are you Brahman? Because of you. I have prana. So that same vayu outside, which is an element, and here vayu is upalakshana for all of them. That vayu, this is, what is this here? Air. Breathe in. What is that? Prana. Don't say air. You take the breath in, it is no longer air. Personalized, prana. Customized air is prana. Customized air becomes life force. Because don't say I'm just breathing air. No. That breathing is that life force. So inside the lung it has become my air, no one says, my prana. You can't have it because it's right here, right now. And it's doing things to the cells. So you see the individual level, adhyatmikam, and then adhidaivikam, that the prana that has gone in comes out, correct? Yeah. Because the prana can sit tightly and say, I'm not coming out. What have you achieved? All this time I have been breathing and I have been giving you the power to breathe. Nothing you have achieved. No, it comes out. And that order which connects the whole 5 elements to the being that is utilizing the 5 elements, to the conscious being who is in connection, who is in relationship to the 5 elements at the individual and the collective level. That order is also Adhidaivikam, and that order is called Hiranyagarbha Ishvara. So from this is one standpoint of looking at very beautiful standpoint. It is just so amazing. It is just so mind-boggling. And you can apply this to every single thing. We have just the pranic example here. You can apply it to anything. First there is all knowledge, and that all knowledge has as though differentiated on the individual level. You can apply it to anything. You can apply it to water. Water as in the body fluids, all the blood and everything. All the blood and the fluids in the body. And then what? Water as in river, Panchabhuta, 5 elements. And then the order that manifests this water along with all these various aspects or these standpoints from which we can see the order, how it flows, what properties it has, and what it does in the stomach, what it does in the veins. All it does different things. What it does in the kidneys, it does different things. So the way in which that order manifests both at the individual and collective level, and that order connects the individual level to the collective level, is called the level of what? Adhidaivika. That is the Ishvara level. So we go beyond the individual and collective. If we stayed just at the individual and collective, the Vedic tradition would be called a pantheistic, nature-dominant tradition where the 5 elements are deified. The 5 elements gain divinity because they are manifestations of Ishvara. We go beyond the individual and the collective. The collective is Ishvara, no doubt, but Ishvara is never the collective. Ishvara transcends the collective to be the knowledge and the material that, as it were, lends to this whole Leela, this whole, what is that? Mystifying, magical appearance of the individual and the appearance of the collective and the appearance of the connection between the two. Understood? Say yes.
Yes.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. And then there is another brilliant standpoint of understanding Hiranyagarbha, and which is also a lot of fun, but the break will also be fun, so we'll come back in 15 minutes.